Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. I am Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey, where I never know whether I cut myself off on that. Do I start talking too soon? Am I already recording? I never know. I'm Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey, where I like to talk about how I've lost 97.4 pounds since starting the ketogenic protocol and how you may be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life, just like I did. I hope you're well. I am well. Oh, there goes cuckoo. Clocks are not aligned. It's going to be an okay day anyway. I have a grandmother clock and I have a cuckoo clock. Somebody wrote they really like cuckoo. They imagine it saying keto, keto, keto. Okay. Anyway, what I'm going to talk about today is, we're depending on when you're seeing this, we are, kind of halfway through the year and in the middle of summer. I know some of you are seeing this from the Southern Hemisphere, middle of winter. So this is kind of, you can hit the doldrums on anything. And it's been such a trying time for the last 18 months. So I want to talk about when little doubts can start creeping in. Maybe the weight is not coming off as you imagined or as it used to, or, not every day is a bowl of cherries. You should pardon the expression because we don't eat cherries because they're fruit and fruit is sugar. Let's talk about that. For those of you who don't know, the ketogenic protocol is one whereby you reduce your carbohydrate intake so that your liver stops pumping out glucose like a fire hose. And when that tap is turned off, our bodies happily turn to burning fat or ketone bodies for fuel. Our brain likes it. Our bodies like it. We burn fat. If we are not overeating dietary fat, then that means we can tap into our onboard stores. As one of my patrons, Suzanne, calls it, she just starts eating her onboard pantry. Saved up food, essentially. And when that happens, our appetite is suppressed. We require less fuel. We naturally consume fewer calories. And it's all great. How do we do that? Keep your carbohydrate intake to 20 grams or fewer a day, total carbs, not net. If it's not on page 4, link below, don't eat it, although you don't need a food list. Just eat fatty sources of protein, not many non-starchy vegetables or leafy greens, and limited dairy. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop when you're satiated. Almost without fail, the last 2 parts are the hardest. People think, I'll never get used to the food. The food's the easy part. It's meat, poultry, fish, etc. Some dairy, if you can tolerate it, not unlimited. And non-starchy vegetables and leafy greens in limited quantities. You don't have to even eat those if you don't want to. They are not required. So, many of us can start gangbusters. For those of you who don't know, I was morbidly obese for 30 years, from my mid-20s to my mid-50s. I tried and tried and tried, as many, many of us have, right? I gave up. I got to be in my mid-50s and had given up on losing weight. I just decided this was the role the universe wanted for me, to be the funny fat friend. But I didn't want to take insulin for type 2 diabetes, and I reckoned I was on deck for that. Googled how to not take insulin for type 2 diabetes. Came across the white coat video of Dr. Eric Westman of Duke University, who has now become a friend. I was never a patient of his, but one thing leads to another. Anywho, keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer. If it's not on page 4, don't eat it. That's kind of it. So I reckoned I could do that. I just lay off the carbs. So I did. And I almost immediately began feeling better. My appetite was suppressed. I started losing weight, not super fast. I was not the front of the magazine type of person. And, too long didn't read, TLDR, my blood glucose is pristine. My blood pressure, perfect. My HDL, high density lipoprotein, which is the so-called good cholesterol, is like 125, which is unheard of. And my triglycerides, 46 or 50 or something. So the food fixed me. But I also got my confidence back and my brain back and my energy back and my joint pain resolved. All right, so that's my little story. And you can read about it at my blog. You can see my before photos. You can see lots of things at my blog, caseydurango.com, link below. You know what? I think I forgot to put the links below. Sorry. I'll do it after I finish this. It's under every other video I do. Many of us can start gangbusters, and it's great. It's like a revelation. Sorry if you can hear the chickens. Oh dear, they've been quiet and now they're talking again. Oh, this is great. And then you're chugging along, and then it seems like maybe the weight loss slows. And I think there was a question that I glanced right before I went live, asking if I'd ever had a stall. Remind me to come back to that. So you're going and you're feeling great, and then little things start to creep in. The weight loss can slow. It will slow. The pace will slow up, almost certainly. Mine did. I lost, and then I just very, very, very gradually lost. How long did it take me to lose 97.4 pounds? 3 years, almost exactly. And I was thrilled. 47 pounds the first year. And I had a lot to lose. I'm 5'1". So that's a whole lot of weight on a small frame. Something I never used to say about myself, a small frame. When you're really big and fat, you don't want to say anything about you as small, other than maybe your self-confidence. Oh, hashtag Casey's pink drink. I'm asked every time. Tumbler, low ice, lots of diet tonic water, a splash of diet cranberry, which is where the pink color comes, just a splash, and a squeeze of lime. Okay. So not only will it slow down, it just really will. It's very predictable. But then what happens is for one thing, our own doubts. Oh, I knew this wouldn't work. I've tried everything. I knew this wouldn't work. It works for everybody else in the whole wide world. Doesn't work for me because I'm that person. So doubts creep in. And then outside influences, outside voices start talking to us. It can be our medical provider, who it's very possible that you can end up knowing much more about nutrition and physiology than your GP based on about this, if you research. Marketing, right? We are inundated with food commercials, and there's one commercial, beef, it's what's for dinner. Yay! The rest are about junk food and cheesy puffs and Haagen-Dazs and cheat days and fast food restaurants and sugary everything. I'm sorry about the chicken. So those, we're pummeled. If it's not a commercial about food, it's about a cell phone, a car, or a pharmaceutical or insurance. Between Geico and Progressive, man, they've got the market cornered on commercials. I don't know about the actual market. So then that starts to come in. Okay, well, I'm not feeling so great. This weight loss slowed. I put on a pound over the last week, which happens. It happened to me. Of course it did. I'm not a robot. It's not like someone unscrewed a little, valve at the back of where my Achilles heel is and fat just drained out of me. No. And I have not deviated from the program. This I can say. I have made other mistakes in my life. And I've made other mistakes in the last 12 hours. But I have not deviated from this protocol, other than the hardest part being don't eat if you're not hungry. And stop when you're satiated. It's still a challenge. Plus, I'm a little lonely. My lovely mate is out of the country, has been for over 2 weeks. I'm a little lonely. But eating when I'm not hungry doesn't make me less lonely, so that's kind of silly. I want to make sure you guys can hear me, right? Okay. Oh, I just say, what are your thoughts on water enhancers like Mio and Crystal Light? I use them absolutely all the time. And my husband's gotten to the point he likes them. It's really hot here, and he works in a he works for a living, and so he'll get a big insulated thermos and he'll get some water in it and a couple of squeezes of fruit punch water enhancer. Okay, where was I? Squirrel. Okay, so weight loss can slow. What we have to realize is that makes sense. You probably didn't put on a pound a week on the way up. It might have felt like it, but you didn't. If you put on a pound a week over 3 years, you've put on, 156, that's 4, that's a lot of weight. Whatever 3 times 52 is. 100. Why can't I figure that out? 156 pounds in 3 years, which might have happened, but it probably didn't happen on average a pound a week. It goes like this and it goes like that and then up and up and up. Same thing on the way down. So you get into the doldrums, you get into a so-called slump. I don't like to call it a plateau. That sounds really negative. Around Go Keto with Casey, we call it a hover because we're going to hover. But then when that happens, you say, well, I haven't lost any weight in 2 weeks. Screw it. Where's the mashed potatoes? Which is, of course, illogical. But I understand that. I've been there before. I had this summer of the triathlons where it was like my last ditch, almost my last ditch, move more, eat less effort. I trained for and participated in 4 sprint triathlons. What a sight I was. Can you imagine me hauling that giant? Go look at my blog, look at the 4 photos. Some of them are taken during the first, I was a perfectly round person trying to haul that tonnage around a track or up a hill on a bicycle. It was very difficult. Swimming was not so hard because I was so fat. I was buoyant. I just wasn't very fast. So you're training for a triathlon, or you're moving more, you're eating less, you go and you really worked out at the gym for 3 weeks solid or whatever it might be. And the scale ticks up 2.5 pounds. So on the way home, you stop at McDonald's. Screw it. Not going to lose weight. I'm going to eat, which is counterintuitive. I mean, it's illogical. Well, I haven't lost weight, so I'm going to eat a whole bunch of bad food. That'll work. No, but we do it. We just need to be prepared. We need to resist that. Don't let the outside influences deter you. Don't let self-doubt deter you. Don't let really bad headlines, research, because let me tell you what, some of this is just so far off the mark that I, as a non-scientist, know that is just bull. That doesn't even make any logical sense what this headline says. So we have to be our own advocates. We have to be strong. We have to not listen to 50 different so-called experts. Pick your expert and stick with it. If that expert is telling you something that makes sense to you and you can relate, great. If that so-called expert is saying something that makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, you say, I wonder if that makes sense. Then don't listen to that person. Within the keto, so-called keto sphere, there are many people trying to sell you anything they can sell you. You do not need to purchase one thing, not a food item, not a supplement, not a kit, not a meal plan. You don't even have to purchase a Go Keto with Casey Racerback shirt, link below, to be 100% successful. All you do is lay off the carbs. Lay off the carbs. If you lay off the carbs, almost all the other things take care of themselves. If you're laying off carbs, you're sticking to page 4 because everything off of page 4 is a carb. If you lay off the carbs, your appetite is going to be suppressed. So you won't eat if you're not hungry. Well, it's habits. The habits are hard. We have to retrain our habits. And we have to be firm. I just got off a patron-only video group session, and it is a support group. And some of us have people in our lives that are non-supportive. They're opposite of supportive. They sometimes, whether they mean to or not, can undermine us. Some people may be genuinely convinced that having a nice steak is going to kill you. Even though if you have a nice steak with a potato, they don't think that's going to kill you. This potato is going to kill you. Steak is going to make you healthy. But some people, for their own reasons, and there are no two situations alike. But we have got to do what we know works for us. So let me tell you about the plateau question. I don't call it a plateau. We call it a hover. Yes, I weigh every day. And I've weighed every day since December 18th, 2000. That's going way back, obviously. That was in the let me try to move more, eat less. And I'm a spreadsheet person. So I have this phenomenal spreadsheet with tens of thousands of cells and formulas in them. And I had a MyFitnessPal tracker and food thing before there was a MyFitnessPal, before there was an iPhone. And I weigh myself every day. So I can look back and see, and some days it was a very depressing thing. But even since I started keto, days would come down, and then I have it so I daily, and they'll tie into an every week, every 7 days, and then every 4 weeks. And so I could see, even as I was losing weight, there would be days, weeks, or even months when I ticked upwards. Okay, I didn't care. I felt so much better. The day I started this, I was not sure I wanted to wake up the next day. I felt so much better physically and mentally, as we say around Go Keto with Casey. Quick plug for patrons. I know there are some here. This is just a plug for my Patreon private support group. There will be a link below. What I do, depending on your pledge level, I make 20 pre-recorded videos called snippets, which are in the morning first thing, and the topics are suggested by the patrons, 20 of those a month. A handful of patron-only live streams on Crowdcast a month, a handful of patron-only video group sessions on Zoom a month. I no longer have a tier level for one-on-ones because my calendar is full, but I do appreciate it. What was I going to say? I can't remember. See, I have no script, so I speak extemporaneously. Oh, another thing I share on the snippets. Now I've started the farm report, how many vegetables I've got and how many eggs we got the day before. My weight differential from what it was the day before. Because I'm weight stable and have been for going on 5 years, not quite, 4 years. I mean, weight stable, but every day, almost every day it fluctuates. This morning, I am down 2.4 pounds from yesterday. But that day I was up 1.8 pounds from the day before. Weight fluctuates. Don't live or die by the scale. There is such a thing as losing inches without losing ounces. It is a thing. There's a physiological reason for it. Have faith. If your clothes are fitting looser, if your energy level is improved, if you no longer need your emergency asthma inhaler, if you're sleeping better through the night, if you don't need an afternoon nap, don't worry about the scale. Keep going. You won't regret this. I promise you. You won't regret this. Don't let anyone knock you off track, including yourself. Don't let yourself knock you off track. It's not complicated. There's no magic potion you can drink or eat. Lay off the carbs. Now, as far as hovers, my weight would hover for a while. You know what I realized? I didn't need as much food as I was eating. Why would I not need as much food as I was eating? I've been losing weight, and all of a sudden I'm eating the same amount of food I'm not losing because I weighed less and because I was that much older. So We eat too much food, y'all. We eat too much food. Not yesterday, but the day before, I ate more food than I needed. Most days I don't. Some days I do. Because I don't eat any carbs for essentially. It's never, I've been in ketosis for 7.5 years. By the way, being in ketosis does not mean you're burning body fat. It just means you're burning fat. If you're over consuming dietary fat, fat bombs, MCT oil, coconut oil, bulletproof coffee, whatever else it might be, your body's going to burn that fat first. We want it to burn our body fat. So what is a hover? It's, you're in the doldrums, you're kind of stumped. When I talk with people one-on-one, they say, I was doing great. Now I haven't lost weight in 4 weeks. Okay. I ask the question, are you burning fat for fuel? Are you in ketosis? Most people feel like they know whether they are or not. Yes, I am. I'm burning fat for fuel. I check with the urine strips. I have the blood. I have the keto mojo, whatever it might be. Great. Are you overeating dietary fat? Well, this is a high-fat diet, right? No, it's not a high-fat diet. It's just high-fat in that it's not low-fat. It's just the fat that comes with the protein. Steak with the fat, bacon with the fat, poultry with the skin, salmon with whatever salmon has, the oil, eggs with the yolks, sausages with the fat, lamb with the fat, pork with the fat, chuck roast, nice and fatty. So no, it's not high fat. Are you doing MCT oil fat bombs? Well, yes, because I thought you're supposed to eat a bunch of fat to burn fat. Well, okay, so we had that conversation. But if someone says nope, okay, you are burning fat for fuel. You are not overeating dietary fat, and you have lost no inches or ounces in a month. What would that tell us? You now know how much food to eat to maintain your weight. If you want to lose weight, eat less. Doesn't have to be drastic. Just eat less. This is where the don't eat if you're not hungry, stop when you're satiated comes in. And it is vexing trying to figure that out, but we can. Around Go Keto with Casey, we say push the peckishness. Peckish means I could eat a little bit, but you don't have to eat. Right now, I'm peckish. I woke up semi-peckish, I would say. A little bit peckish, but I woke up at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. And it is now, whatever time it is, 12:22. I'm peckish, but I'm fine. I could go another 4 hours. I'm okay. I will eat at some point when I've got other things to do today. But when it makes sense, I will eat. I will serve myself less than I used to because I don't need as much food as I used to. So don't let the doubts creep in from yourself. This is not like having your heart broken again by an untrue love. You don't have to have your heart broken every time. You deserve happiness and love, and you deserve this protocol. I just can't tell you how strongly I feel about this. If I can do this, you can do this. I had given up. I wasn't even trying anymore. If I can do this, you can do this. I am going to turn to the comments, and I really appreciate you guys. And here's the difference between the patron-only live streams is all I do is look at the comments because it's very patron-driven. But I try to, address. Shameless Commerce Division. You don't need to buy anything to be 100% successful, but I'm trying to earn my keep around here. Here is a spiral-bound Go Keto with Casey 12-month record book. It's a journal. It's inspirational things. It's doodle pages. There's a perfect bound. You can get that at my blog. You can get the perfect bound version at Amazon for a couple of bucks cheaper, and you'll get it much faster because Amazon magnet. Are you here out of hunger or out of habit? It's a magnet. There's a picture of a fridge. And even something as silly as a Go Keto with Casey steel water bottle with little things. You can get those at Teespring, which is below, and shirts and mugs and stickers. Okay. Done. Now, let me, like I said, I'm just trying to earn my keep. Let me turn to comments. And I very much appreciate your patience. I'm just going to jump in. SPN Mashias. I've been on keto for 2 months and have been losing a pound a week since then. I've lost 8 pounds so far. Fantastic. Mommy does keto. Congrats, SPN. Hey, Denise. Hola, mi amor. Carlos, ¿está bien? Denise writes, SPN, that's perfect. Keep going. I bet you feel better too. And Alita's Keto Journey writes, loving my Go Keto with Casey journal. Oh, thank you. It helps me so much. Thank you for offering it. What this thing is, I really enjoyed putting it together. It's like a habit tracker and mood tracker and some quotes, like from Oscar Wilde. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. And a diary and then coloring, keto coloring pages. Anyway, I enjoyed putting it together. And I did not put dates on it specifically because you don't have to wait for the first of the year to start or the first of the month or after the holidays, or you can start right now. I started midday on a Wednesday. Heather Abu Sneh, I never pronounce your name correctly, and I apologize. Abu Snehe, and Snene. Just joining in this morning, I can smell my husband making his breakfast. Belinda writes, Belinda O'Brien, I lost 70 pounds. Being a patron has helped me keep it off. Thank you very much, Belinda, and congrats, 7. That's amazing. Denise writes, Candace, you're so correct about battle scars and excess skin. I'm 65 and I'm now starting to lift heavier weights after following the protocol for 4.5 years. I do the total gym. I've been doing it consistently now for several months. It was in the closet before that. And I can see a difference. I can feel a difference. I feel taut. Last week's live stream was about skin. And I already expressed myself on that. But I feel strong. And core strength, exercise is not effective for fat loss. But all of us, women particularly, need to protect our bone density. And our core strength helps us with balance, with standing erect, making us tall as possible. Jen writes, I have the Spiral Bound book, and it also works for my tracking things for my job. I just changed the headers. Great. Janet Fisher writes, great I'm not reading that name right. That is something I list to, bit by bit, but steadily for almost 52 weeks. Fantastic. Just keep at it. United Arab Emirates, and I don't know what BIF stands for, writes, I like your Instagram account, some meals and fun things. Thank you. My Instagram, I've done a lot of stuff other than food because my theme for this year is there's more to life than food. That's the whole point of feeling better and getting healthier, is not so I can spend 5 hours a day trolling about food videos and no, I don't. Even though this is what I do, no, there's more to life than food. Becca writes, hovering since the pandemic, feeling the eating when not hungry struggle. It is difficult. Boredom, isolation. There's a saying in some recovery programs, don't make a decision when you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired because you're vulnerable. One of my patrons suggested, I said, we need something like that. Like, don't eat if you're something. Well, the first one, H, is, of course, you can't use that. So this person suggested blast. Don't eat if you're bored, lonely, angry, stressed, or tired. Don't eat if you're bored, lonely, angry, stressed, or tired. And like the fridge magnet says, are you here out of hunger or out of habit? And this came directly I won't tell the story again. I've told it 65,000 times. And then under it says, if hunger is not the problem, food is not the solution. Food doesn't fix loneliness. Hey, Helen, thank you for the super chat. Thanks, Casey. I'm so happy to be back as a patron. I'm so happy to have you here. So happy. In our support group, sometimes people come and go. They feel like I've got this and I'm good. And then, a handful of caramel popcorn leads to a bucket of caramel popcorn leads to 3 months of fast food leads to putting on 40 pounds. That's not Helen's situation. And then they come back, not because I'm any kind of a thing, is that I've often said, I think many people join my Patreon group, not to get access to me, but to get access to each other. It is a genuine support group. There's a private Patreon, Go Keto with Casey Patreon Facebook group. No one can get to it. It is a safe place. Sometimes you just need to put out the word, help me, somebody talk me off the ledge. My mother-in-law is driving me nuts with the pecan pie. Jeannie Blatz writes, Blast, love it. I thought that was so clever. My people are the smartest people ever. Hey, Michelle, how do I get the fridge magnet? Okay, it's confusing. This on my blog, link below, but I have to put the link in. So go CaseyDurango.com's the swag tab. It's where you can get the spiral book, and along with a couple of other things. Pop sockets. Who knew? That say food is not the boss of me. And then things like t-shirts and mugs and stickers that should be either to the side or below. Access to my Teespring store where I have different things. And then what's the other place? Oh, Amazon for the other book. Denise writes, strengthening my core has fixed my back pain almost completely. My core was very weak after abdomen surgery. I'm making progress. And you had serious abdomen surgery, my friend. Great job, Denise, writes Candace. Okay. Is there anything else that I want to do? Oh, so if you're in I also on my blog, there are my upcoming schedule. And some of them are public and some are private. If you're in the Greensboro, North Carolina area, Monday, the 12th, Go Keto with Casey meetup, our second in real life meetup again. I have them on the second Monday of the month at Wine Styles at Friendly Center. The following week will be Wednesday Wine Day with Amy Berger and me, my friend. And that is, you can register for that. That's on Crowdcast. And then I don't think I have anything the next week. And then we start over with the Durham Support Group meeting with Dr. Eric Westman and me. So you can see my schedule. It's nice to be able to see people again. I don't know whether the Durham Support Group meetings will go back to in real life or not. That's up to Dr. Westman. We've been doing them virtually for a while. All right. I love all the eggs. Yeah, that's a bunch of eggs. Sherry writes, it's so easy to slide back into the eating when not hungry thing. Have to stay on top of it all the time, asking ourselves, am I really hungry? Yes, I ask myself that. You can share with me sometime UAEBIF, what the BIF stands for. Thank you, if you want to. Thank you very much for allowing me to be part of your Saturday. Just remember, you can do this, and that if I can do this, you can do this. People are in this room right now that have lost. Judy Tucker lost 130 pounds. 130 pounds. Unbelievable. Gray, I don't think Gray's custom trim is here, but he's lost like 276 pounds. So thank you very much. Be sweet. Just don't eat sweets. You can do it.